Good evening everybody, hello and welcome to another video. Today is a very cool day, so I'm going to be taking my first delve into the world of composites with the man, the legend himself. It's Rusky Weldfab. Right, so here we are in the smallest but potentially most well-equipped garage London has ever seen.
I don't call it small, I call it functional.
Functional. Everything is at arm's reach.
Exactly.
Tools,
that's it, you got it.
Lathe. You don't actually need to move, you kind of don't need feet to be in here at all. But yeah, so I'm up here in London with Ilyas, and today we are going to be creating a carbon fibre splitter for the A3. So a lot of you may have followed Ilyas' channel. I've kind of nicknamed him the King of Kevlar, but you've not actually been doing it that long, have you?
No, I've only been doing it for about a year, but I think, yeah, kind of went in all guns blazing and pretty much did the whole car in Kevlar. So I know a few things. I cannot claim that I'm a professional, but I think I know enough to actually undertake pretty much any task involving carbon fiber now.
So yeah, I've certainly been mega impressed. If you haven't checked it out, check out the Clio and some of the crazy things that Ilyas has done. So we are going to get out some bits and bobs, and hopefully Ilyas is going to teach me how to make some carbon today.
Oh, one thing to mention. Just wanted to mention that if you are really interested in undertaking a composite work project for yourself, then I will be making a proper tutorial for his splitter. So it's going to be without any fluff and jokes and anything, just kind of pure dry information on step by step on how to pretty much make anything out of carbon fiber or Kevlar or anything involving composites. So link will be somewhere down there in the description or in this little corner. So you know the score.
One of the corners.
One of the corners. So yeah.
So to watch an idiot's guide first time around, that'll be this video. And if you want to know how to actually do it yourself, check out this man's channel. Typically, just as we are starting to get all the materials out and get ready, it's starting to chuck it down with rain. Right, first up, get the foam out. 2 pieces of foam, about 1 metre square, taped together, and then the monster heavy ply splitter on top of that to get the shape. So I've got the splitter on the table at the moment. We can't actually go that much bigger. We're already at the 100mm limit for MSA regs here. What we are doing is on the sides here, we are going to come out longer by 100mm. It's not going to look drastically different, it's going to be a slightly larger area. Fingers crossed it's going to give us a few little gains, which may or may not complement something else that you're going to be seeing on the channel fairly shortly. Some jigsawing later, we have a splitter shape. So the man, the legend, is in the cave right now, preparing, and I don't think it's going to be too long before we start getting some of this ready, start laying it up. We've had a cup of coffee, the rain is still coming down, so the Kevlar King is going to give me my instructions on what I need to do with this, whilst he goes inside and preps our form, mould, sheet of plywood.
Sheet of plywood, which is basically a flat surface that we are molding it off to get a really nice smooth finish on the top. Essentially what you need to do, you need to get all the air under the car as fast as possible without any sort of sharp edges. So we need to sand the front of the splitter. It needs to have like a sort of radius taper at the bottom. So what you need to do is take this fancy sanding block that I've already advertised plenty on my own channel, and then just by hand gradually
create
make a radius that you want. After that, I think we're literally ready to cut some reinforcement material roughly to this shape and start laying it.
So the top surface has been sanded, just generally giving it a bit of a wipe down, get all the loose dust off before it goes inside. Right, so we are getting toward the interesting bit now. The carbon is on the table. I've got no idea what it is other than it's very, very pretty. So as part of his tutorial, Ilyas is now going to tell us what he's actually using.
So for the beauty layer, for the top layer that everyone will see, we're using this 300 grams 2x2 6K, I think it is 6K, yeah. Normal twill carbon. Then for the middle layer, to give us proper strength, we're using this extra strong and extra cool biaxial layer. Essentially what it is, it's carbon weaved at 45 degrees to each other, so it gives you a lot of strength on diagonal sort of bending axis. as opposed to this one, which is 90 to 90. Anyways, this will give us extra strength. So we're using normal carbon for the top layers, and we're using this as a middle layer before the foam.
It's all very technical, isn't it?
Just roll it across the whatever surface we need, and then what I found the hard way, you need to leave sufficient amount of margin on each side.
So as you can see, this looks totally different and not like what you'd normally consider as carbon fibre.
So this is effectively 2 layers of 150 stacked at 45 degrees to each other.
So it gives it more...
It's a bit more, it's heavier than a normal one would be at 300. You can actually feel it.
Yeah.
But it has an incredible, once it's set, diagonal sort of properties of elongation, so it doesn't...
So great,
it's normal, yeah.
Great for a splitter with extremities that will want to flex.
Yeah. And especially because we're using both 90 degree and 45 degree, we are covered essentially for both sort of movements like that and also
twists
a like that.
Twist.
So now we need to apply a thin layer, a firm layer of resin onto the mold before we actually put a new first layer of reinforcement. You can literally just pour it on. Imagine it's kind of like icing a cake.
Cake. There we go, folks. First layer of carbon down, and it's pretty much a full 8x4 sheet. Right, I'm knackered. So we've got 2 layers of carbon down now. So we've got one, what was it called? 9090? No?
It's just a normal 2x2.
One, not 2x2, that was the one. We've got 1 layer of 2x2 300. Classic carbon. And we've got 1 layer of biaxial. Yeah, all been wetted up, rolled around, wet through, whatever the technical term is. Time to put some foam on it and see how it starts to take shape.
So,
do you want to go end to end or front to back?
Front to back, I think. Now we're kind of
in the middle,
somewhere. Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be pushed by itself, but it's all good.
Jumps up,
yeah, overall I'm happy with everything. Where you see it's all wet.
Is that wet enough to that edge?
Yeah, it's wet.
Cool.
It's wet, should be okay. I mean, we will put extra resin in here, so
there,
when we
and
fold
it.
let it sort of seep through and whatever. Because resin you can actually sand afterwards. Especially being carbon, it's not gonna interrupt the weave or anything like that. So right now we are ready to put our 3rd layer of reinforcement. We have 2 layers of carbon, then we have a layer of foam on the top. Everything is nicely wetted through. We checked everything. Everything is been trimmed, maybe in excessive places and stuff. So now we just put another kind of not a finishing, but another reinforcing layer to make it as a sandwich. So let's do that.
So we're about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We have 4 layers of carbon now laid up, trimmed the bottom 2 all round. So it's time to wet the final layer and then fold the edges in, which hopefully will lead to this man with the talent. But he's probably going to make me do it, so if there's anything that looks crap, I did that bit. So what we're doing now, we're just trimming the edges and folding it in so you get like a nice finish around here. And then I think after that, wet it all through, bag it up, put the vacuum thingy on, whatever it's officially called, and yeah, come back tomorrow. Right, I look pretty warm because it is roasting in here.
That's not the one.
Thermometer's turned off, but it's roasting, trust me. So we've got peel ply on, whatever that is. We've got absorption mat on top of that, and we are just about to bag it up for the vacuum bagging sealant, whatever it is. But yeah, it's all come together.
That's the one that we used.
It's all looking pretty cool.
No,
Fingers
I
crossed.
think-
Wait
no,
24
no,
hours,
I
see what
think
we've got.
this is-
Welcome back. We are 2 days later. Come back to the place where all the Kevlar and the carbon happens. And it's time to demold and find out if Ilyas' expertise combined with my inability has worked out with something that we can use.
No pressure, right?
It's only now sort of starting to see quite how much work you must have put in to make everything on the Clio. So this is one bit.
You know what? I'm happy overall.
Right, so moment of truth. This is demolded. We've not kind of finished off and sanded all the edges or anything yet, but it is looking really good. So we have Ilyas highly accurate scales. We have one phenolic ply splitter. I'm going to cover my face doing this, aren't I? What do we reckon? That is 14.5 kilos.
14 and a half.
14 and a half kilos. Let me pop this down. It's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, for comparison, it's a good sign already. 5.25, 5.3.
5.3.
5.3 kilos. So, quick maths, what's that? 9.8?
9.8 or 9.2.
9.2. Nearly 10 kilos. We'll go with nearly 10 kilos. Awesome. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to get this home. Just kind of sand off the edges where we've got little bits of resin and stuff. Pretty it up, drill some holes in it, make it even lighter. And yeah, we'll get it on the car. Massive, massive thanks to Ilyas. I've learned an awful lot doing this. I think the biggest thing I've learned is that I do not have the patience he does. But yeah, really excited. Big thanks to Ilyas. If you haven't checked out Rusky Weld Fab, you need to do it. Used to be called Rusky Weld Shit, but he's definitely not shit anymore. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling now. Hope you guys will like this one. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Get yourself over to Rusky Weld Fab if you want to see an actual tutorial on how this was made in full, rather than just me rambling on in the background. But that's it from me. Have fun, take care, see you soon.